And on May 19th, 2016, came the transformative event of having gender confirmation surgery with Dr. Christine McGinn of New Hope, Pennsylvania, accompanied by my son as my surgery buddy, which was very special. This procedure involved having my male genitalia transformed by Dr. McGinn's extraordinary skill into a female anatomy. Not every transgender person is able to have confirmation surgery, as the medical demands on your body are very high, and there can be significant financial issues. It is also important to note that for lots of good reasons, not every transgender person wishes to have the procedure, and even if I hadn't had this surgery, it wouldn't have made me any less of a woman. However, in my case, I badly wanted it, needed it, so much so that in the run-up to the big day, I was petrified something would happen to prevent me from being able to go through with it. At the same time, I was really scared about how difficult it would be. Added on top of that were complicated arrangements and my mental health challenge in the form of generalized anxiety disorder. The physical change is, of course, quite dramatic. Equally dramatic is the speed with which it came about. Most of my transition was a process that had a certain pace, albeit a fairly quick one. With this surgery, you go to sleep with one configuration and wake up with a radically different one. The subsequent recovery was really hard, but I made it, and I am so glad I was blessed to have this operation and for the first time in my life, be in the right body, a feeling that evolved over time. Crucially, however, as important as it was, this was only one, admittedly major, milestone on my journey. Another was the discovery that I could write poetry. All my life, I had wanted to do something truly creative, but simply couldn't, because a large part of my soul had been, in effect, locked away and inaccessible. Transition to my true gender reunited my sundered spirit, one result being a longer free-verse poem cycle called A Song of Milestones that has been published, as mentioned, in a special modest-sized chapbook. This work traces an emotional and spiritual tour of my gender journey through 11 sections. In it, I described the advent of my poetry writing this way. Startled by the unlocking deep within of another door, my voice modulated again, evolved, revolutionized, poeticized, verses piling up in my soul's inbox. Sweet, stolen hours spent translating the cosmic emails while life's noise abates, psychological demons retreat, physical ghouls slacken their grip, while pain transmutes to poetry, nothing existing except me and the phrases. Floating in union in an eternal present, I'm suffused in a power and peace dreamt of but not hoped for. All in all, this has been a roller coaster ride that puts any amusement park attraction to shame. Transgender people, myself included, deeply and simply want to live as we know ourselves to be on the inside. Shakespeare's phrase, "To thine own self be true," is a very appropriate way to describe this intense desire. It puts all of us on journeys we did not ask for. Strides have been made, at least in some quarters, with respect to awareness, education, acceptance, support, and medical care, which is wonderful. But there is a ways to go yet, especially in view of the fact that we are going backwards in places, a reality that is by turns frightening, depressing, and infuriating. A common refrain amongst us is that we wouldn't wish this on anyone. It is just too difficult. I have prayed for strength, focusing on two phrases, be with me and heal me. I have also asked the typical why questions. Why this road? Why me? Why my family? Why did it take me so long to figure this out? No blinding flash came. The answers seem to unveil themselves slowly. But you carry on and go forward because deep inside you know that, as hard as it is, this is your path. This is your chance at feeling whole. The other road, continuing to try and deny who you are, is one you instinctively realize leads quite literally nowhere. Despite having spent much time on a spiritual and philosophical search, I had never before felt any sense of calling. But as my identity became clear to me, I came to know that making the transition to the gender opposite to the one I was assigned at birth was my mission, or at least part of it. For whatever reason, this transformation is the thing I was meant to do. And I find myself called, indeed compelled, to speak like I am today and now write poetry about deeply emotional things in a way that in an earlier time I simply could not have imagined doing. As mentioned, A Song of Milestones, which I quoted from earlier, was published in a special chapbook, and I presented the work several times in its entirety. Additionally, I continue to have other publications and engagements. And this, I think, may be the most surprising and wonderful gift of all. The gift, after all this time, of finding my own unique voice. Renewal and rebirth, I suspect, are always very difficult, and my road may be a harder one than some, but the rewards are immeasurable. As for my years in a male role, I have no desire to try and forget that part of my life. There was too much of it, and too many good things came out of it. And most important, without it, the world wouldn't have my children, and I would have missed one of the greatest joys of my life. And also, crucially, I don't want to split myself again. Rather, I want to achieve precisely the opposite. I honor my Jeff persona. He stayed the course for a long time through some difficult circumstances until Jennifer was at long last ready to emerge. He's still here inside me, but he was badly in need of a rest and was ready to be integrated into a greater whole, an incredible, wonderful, arduous process that, bit by bit, has been making it possible for me to see myself as a child of God too, and to face the future as my true, authentic self. More than 50 years ago, a scared, confused little girl struggled to understand that she had been born in the wrong body and had been assigned the wrong gender role. Her time in the sun, her time to take flight and sing her own special song, finally arrived. Lastly, I now have out, as mentioned, a new wide-ranging full-size poetry collection called Here Through the Silence, and as a side note, I have books with me today if anybody's interested in them. In part motivated by the hatred increasingly aimed at my community recently, from that new collection, I will leave you with this short piece called Transgender Anthem. Since time immemorial, revealed or hidden, self-aware or suppressed, we have been here. Through pain, confusion, and joy, tearing at contrary, shrouding shells, we have been here. We follow paths indescribable and incredible, yearning to shine forth our extraordinary iridescence, and we are here. We are the convention shakers, mold breakers, trailblazers, and we are here. We are not an illness or a theory or a debating point. We are flesh and blood, marvelous souls and children of the cosmos, and we are here. We are dismissed by the ignorant, stared at by the fear-blind, assailed because we dare to disturb comfortable prejudices, but we are here. We are scared yet courageous, despised yet loved, weary yet striding on, and we are here. We are children and parents, siblings and spouses, friends and lovers, colleagues and neighbors, poor and well off, and we are here. Hatred fells some of us, but we remain unshakable, unbreakable, bright, blazing beacons of a new, rediscovered spirit, and we absolutely, emphatically, now and forever, will be here. Thank you very much.